I'm live, yay! Hey, if you are wandering the internet and you ran across this video, you should know it's part of a ongoing series of daily ukulele lessons, and they're free and they're really hard, and you should be doing them. Um, we're going to go to jollyrogerukulele.com. That's where all the info is. And if you will go do that now, that would be great. And then you can probably fast forward about 15 minutes because that's about the time we're actually going to start playing music. I got to go post this on the website and then let everybody load in and check the sound and all this stuff. So if you're finding the recording of this, yeah, you can absolutely fast forward a lot. And then you can avoid me sitting around here awkwardly waiting for everything to get started. I loaded up early today, which is very unusual for me. I am in good shape today. So I'm posting now on our website the link for the day, and we'll see if that brings some folks around. You always have to quadruple check everything because we end up with so many technical issues with these broadcasts. And there I am. Okay, so that link is working correctly. Lanny says I'm looking good, and Lanny knows good looking. Let me tell you, every day when he wakes up, looks in the mirror, there's good looking, ready to go. Hey, Lanny, how are you? Am I sounding good? That's the other question that's always on my mind. How am I sounding? Right? We're musicians. That's what we care about. Let's see. I got a couple of texts that I'm going to have to deal with here in a little bit. I am going to adjust the microphone. So, Lanny, your speakers are going to get rumbled here in your house a little bit. I want to get them basically where they are. There, that should work. And I've got both of them set at 80%, so that should work. And I don't seem to be clipping. I put my little audio interface way up on the top, so it's hard to see what's actually doing. Yeah, I'm here early today. We got a little while to sit and chat. Let's talk about ukulele things. One, we're doing 8 songs today. We have one that I have to sing, which will be brutal, and then the rest is going to be just a lovely plinking along. My Spaghetti Monster, Love Me Tender, Three Blind Mice, Blue Hawaii, Can't Help Falling in Love, Brahms Lullaby, Are You Lonesome Tonight are our instrumental songs. And then I'm going to sing Waltzing Matilda, which is going to be brutal. Hey, Lynn, welcome in. So our website's jollyrogerukulele.com, and you should go there. And we have several hundred people involved in the program and a bunch of people showing up almost every day, which is crazy. Like for example, Sandy, she lives in Michigan, and she lives right there. And so she comes in every day. Good to see you, Sandy. I have adjusted my new desk just a little bit so that I've got my big speakers here and my music stand here, printer back over there, and you can get the chance to see this. So over here are tenor ukuleles. These are concert ukuleles. Those are baritone ukuleles. These are ukuleles that look like space aliens. Over on that wall, I have all my soprano ukuleles. So when they open up, we are ready to rock. We have lots of ukuleles to get into people's hands. My store is here in Denver. And so if you're not in Denver, you can't come to my store. But if you are ever through Denver, you can. Can't come to here and right now anyway because they're not letting anybody in the building. Behind me is this giant heater that if I turn it on, this room gets to be 9,000 degrees. It's a little tiny closet that is my office. That's what ukulele pays for, is a little tiny closet. And let's see, what else should I tell you that's exciting in ukulele? What am I forgetting, guys? JollyRogerUkulele.com. That has all the answers. I feel like this could be a little bit lower. I'm still working on next week's theme. I don't know what I'm going to do. I've been busy wandering through my hard drive looking at this random gigantic collection of stuff that none of it seems to be quite finished, and so I'm not positive what our theme's going to be next week. Got a lot of pressure for Simon and Garfunkel yesterday, so we'll see if I have enough Simon and Garfunkel to put together. Also, Monday night we have Summer Institute, which I'm changed the name to Global Institute. After we have Ecuadorians and Sydneyans and people from on the other side of the equator who are having their winter time right now. So that's their Winter Institute. So we changed the name to Global Institute because it's more correct. Gary and Diane logging in from Vancouver, Washington. I should start a list so that I get everybody's city right. Every time I say something, I feel like I'm getting it wrong. Jana's in from Waco. Don't we have nice arrangements this week, Jana? I'm really, really, really pleased with our overall group of songs this week. I guess honestly, every week we seem to have some really nice stuff, and I just think, gosh, we're lucky to have such great music that works so well on the ukulele. I don't know. I feel really nice about that. And part of it's me, right? Part of it's me writing pretty good music, but it's also, the fact that our instrument, we can put just about anything on it and it's going to sound great. And like I was saying yesterday, I haven't been able to find a decent hip hop song from, the world of rap music that sounds good on a ukulele, but I think it's out there, and I'm going to find it. I'm going to find and make you guys play a rap song. That should be fun. We'll probably have to go pretty old school to make it work, but we can make it work. I have never tried seriously to do it, but maybe, right? I'm starting to make a list of where everybody's from. Christine in from the Cool Banks Campground in Montana. She's out camping, which is exciting, right? Christine is taking in the great outdoors. I pretty much avoid the great outdoors. I like the outdoors so that you've left your apartment building and gotten into a taxi cab. I don't know who made that joke, but I love that joke. Patty's here. We're here early. Yeah, I'm here early. Patty, see, the queue is on board. Marilyn, where are you from? I forget. I'm making a list of where everybody's from, and so I'm. Some of you guys I remember, some of them you don't. Maria's in today. She's from Denver. Pauline checking in from the Bay Area. I gotta add you on here, Pauline. I always get a little confused. Pauline is from the Bay Area. Let's see, who else is coming? Pele, she's in from Denver. Basic tree. Pele is actually from Hawaii, and so I always feel a little nervous when she's in the building that she's getting haole ukulele, and so they say that's not a derogatory term against us mainlanders, but I think it's a little derogatory. But I'll tell you, I do not do ukulele the way Hawaiian people do ukulele, and so it's okay. I get it. I took their instrument and I changed it, and I turned it into a lute from 1712 and 1612 probably, and that's how I play it. Evelyn is in from Cuenca, Ecuador. I'm gonna write Evelyn out here. Cuenca, Ecuador, I think is how you pronounce it. Ecuador, I think is how you say that. Let's see. Bruno Mars Day. It's interesting. Bruno has some really fine music. I'm going to add him onto my list. I honestly, I don't follow modern music at all. Like I honestly, I know the names of these people because I've heard them, but I don't really pay much attention to them. And I think one of our kids group, yeah, that's what it was. One of the kids groups in our orchestra decided, hey, let's do a Bruno Mars song. So they asked me to arrange it. And it was whatever one was popular at the time. And it was a blast. I mean, honestly, it was super fun to work on. And the more I learned about Bruno Mars and all this, like he comes from a family of entertainers. He's been doing it his whole life and all this stuff. And it seems like, you never know what these stars, what's true and what's not. But he seemed like a pretty nice guy. So yeah, I'm up for Bruno Mars. Hey, Fran, welcome in. Carol is in from Nathrop. Uh, so is Marilyn. So is Marilyn. Ooh, Marilyn. Oh, I don't think I know what you're saying, Patty. Elizabeth is in from Greeley. Leslie is for Virginia. That's the one I was forgetting. I was like, Leslie's. Where is Leslie from? I'm going to write that down. Leslie from Virginia. I knew she was from back east. I knew you were from back east somewhere, Leslie. I just can't seem to get it in my head as Virginia. I'm adding everybody to a list. Not everybody, just whenever I can at the time. We're gonna get everybody figured out. Then I'm gonna come to your house and hang out when we can. Terry is in from Denver. I think I can see Terry from here. Phyllis is in from Ontario. Renee is in from Lakewood. Lindy's in from Lindy. You're in Lakewood too, I think, right? Fran, Highland, California. We're about an hour east of LA and 45 minutes west of Palm Springs. We're about an hour drive to the beach and less than. Well, Fran, that sounds all right. Last time I was in Palm Springs, it was so cute. We went to, it was a Christmas, and I'm like, I am sick of going to the family's houses for Christmas. We are going someplace else. And so we went to Palm Springs, and it was really nice. And we were going to play golf on Christmas Day. And you know how they always make a joke, if you are Jewish on Christmas, you go to dinner at a Chinese restaurant as a joke, right? And that Christmas Day, we played golf twice. And the first group was with a Jewish couple, and the second one was with a Asian couple. I don't know if they were from China or not, but they were definitely not from the United States. Their English was pretty iffy, but we had a great day, right? And so we got all of the stereotypes in all at once, and it was wonderful. So, all right, what time is it? Let's get focused in. We got to get going here. I can't just sit and chat all day. Yes, I can. I could chat all day. Let's see. Didn't Bruno Mars grow up in Hawaii? I do believe Bruno Mars grew up in Hawaii. That is my belief as well. Yeah. Oh, that's right, Marilyn. You're from San Jose. Maryland. Q. We just use a Q from San Jose. That's right. All right. Now I'll remember. I'm getting everybody figured out. Let's see. Laurel in from Denver. Jerry's in from Denver. Brandon is in from the Bay Area also. Melissa in from the Kansas Flint Hills. Is that Kansas, Melissa? How exciting! All right, I gotta write her down because I told her yesterday I was gonna remember, and then I got lucky today. That's Melissa. She's from Kansas. All right, nice. Flint Hills. Isn't Flint Hills, Michigan? Kansas, Flint Hills. Oh, so there's a Flint Hills in Kansas and a Flint Hills in Michigan. Okay, I gotcha. Let's see. Linda's 1 and 2 and 3. I think everybody's here. Bruno was made in Hawaii. Nice. Linda number 3 in from California as well. All right. Everybody, enough of us are loaded in, right? We got 40 of us, and there's always a few stragglers, so we'll get everybody in here in a little bit. Welcome, you guys. We're doing Elvis. We're wrapping up Elvis week, and I think that we had some nice pieces of sheet music, and we had some nice easier pieces, and some nice beginner stuff, and some nice everything. Now we have one song where I'm gonna have to sing, right? And so we know you got to brace for that. But let's warm up with some stuff that's a little less brutal than that. And then we will move on to, let's put me singing kind of in the back. Why don't we just follow the list on the website, right? We'll do Spaghetti Monster. We'll do an easier song than an Elvis song, and go back and forth. And we'll have a lovely day. So let's start with Spaghetti Monster. My Spaghetti Monster, if you have it alphabetized correctly, should be in the M's, but you may have stuck it in the S's for spaghetti. And we have 8 songs to get through today, so we'll go a little bit fast, but we have plenty of time to get through everything, and so we won't rush too much. If I'm rushing or if you have questions, that's what that chat box is for. If you stop by and you're just listening in, that's 100% fine with me too. More fun if you participate by logging in and letting Google know that you've been to YouTube type of thing. Google's going to find out about everything about you anyway. This business of privacy, we already let the ox is way out of the barn, so I would not spend a ton of time worrying about whether Google knows who you are or not. My friend Kari, she says, I hate Google, and then she's all over Facebook. So I love her.
Here's what I found.
Whoop, I just said Google, and then my phone went crazy. Don't say Google, because then your phone knows that you're talking about them. All right. My Spaghetti Monster. Remember, the main purpose of this is to get you comfy playing chord and melody together. So we're going to play the individual notes. We're going to play that tough line. But when we get to the chords, beautiful downstrum. Okay, let's see how pretty you can make My Spaghetti Monster. For those of you who are newer, this is a memorizer. Just go ahead and get it memorized so you have a song that you can share with people. You only have to have one song memorized because sooner or later somebody will say, hey, play me something on ukulele. You play them this song. Okay, from the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let it ring out. Then you take your chord off. Okay, that's a pretty little tune. The thing I like about it, you got some pretty complex chords that are not terribly hard to play. Will make your ukulele sound amazing. You don't have to sing, or you can sing if you want. Either way, you play. It gives you a chance to play melody and chords at the same time. Get you started on that tough uke program, and the other nice thing about My Spaghetti Monster is having it as part of your permanent repertoire is nobody knows that song, right? So they don't know if you're playing it right or wrong or whatever. And more importantly, while it makes you sound good, they're not going to sing along with you. If you sing all of the other songs that we are working on, they will try to sing along with you, and that's going to mess you up when you're a newer player because they start singing, and then you feel like you got to keep up with them, and all of a sudden they're in charge of your tempo and all of this stuff, and it just doesn't work out. So you want to have a song that nobody knows, that sounds great on ukulele, that's not too long, that makes them be like, oh boy, my friend really is taking great ukulele lessons. And then you tell them about coming to these the daily broadcast here and turn them into, a reasonable human being because they are not ukulele players yet. And we're in that process of fixing everybody, right? We got people who take ukulele and then they quit. We got to go get those people and get them back. We got to get new people who still don't have a ukulele, which is weird. How can that possibly be? And so we're going to just take care of all of those people with My Spaghetti Monster. It's the answer to all of your problems in life. Let's see. Who else is logging in here? Mike is in the house. Kat, I'm here. You can. Kat finally arrived, so now we can start. And thanks, Lynn. I love that tune too. It was an accident. I wrote it for a silly reason, and then it turns out that it works great as a teaching tool. And so there you go. All right, My Spaghetti Monster. Nice job, you guys. Let's go do "Love Me Tender." Will be your next tune, first Elvis tune of the day. "Love Me Tender" is also one of the songs I teach in class. And let's very quickly go through it and make sure that everything is making sense. Measure, those of you guys who have had me in the past, you may have an older version of this. I updated it just for these broadcasts. So you guys that are logging in here have the latest and greatest. Your version should say March 26, 2020 on the top. And that's the latest and greatest version of "Love Me Tender." And let me remind you, you have one mean little moment in this song, measure 11. You're going to be holding that B flat. We hate B flat, but we don't have to hold the full B flat. You can actually just hold index, middle, and ring, remember? Okay, because we got to keep that first string open. The hard part is that then you're going to add your pinky right there. Okay, you're going to have to add it on second string, third fret. Okay, and then take it off, add it back on, and then get rid of it. Okay. So measure 11 is kind of a bummer. The reason I could put this in an easier key and not have that situation come up, but I actually that's a teaching moment for me in my classes here that are face-to-face, is I want people to think about using their pinky, adding them into these more complicated chords, because as you guys know, as we get into these more complicated songs, we have to do that. Okay, last thing is I added on to mine at the very end, measure 20, I'll be measure 17 is 555, a bar on 5, pinky on 8. Okay, that's not how I'm going to end it. Okay, so I'm going to wait 4 beats and then put that fancy F chord on at the end. Okay, Here we go. There's it. One time through. Best shot, first shot, best shot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wrong frets. Okay, that's Love Me Tender. Hopefully that's going great for you. If you and again, if you are newer and you're just playing the ukulele melody line, that is absolutely essential and long term going to do you more good than just about anything else you can do on ukulele. Is just learning to play melody like nobody's business. And so if that's the line you're playing, absolutely fine. If you're still working on your chords and you want to go through and play that with chords, that's also fine. I do think that go grab the MP3 off the website, and I think that will help give you a reason to play the song in the other ways, right? So if you click play on the MP3 and then strum, and then go back and hit it to do it again, and just try to keep up with the melody, that's going to be really valuable to your skill set as a player down the road. And so don't be shy about taking advantage of all of those resources. They're all there. I don't put stuff on the website on accident. It's there to help you. And those MP3s should help you get better and faster and more confident in other ways of playing. Of course, when we're sitting here face to face to laptop, that we're going to be playing Tough Uke an awful lot, because that's really where the most education and the most teaching has to go on. And so I'm going to be playing that a lot, but that doesn't mean those other ways are not important. Okay. Paley says, can you go over that fancy chord at the end again? Yeah, sorry, I even blew it, right? So bar chord on 5, pinky on 8. Okay. All you're doing is playing that C chord, right? That's the C chord, but you're going to put the bar on 5 and slide this up to 8, and that's your fancy chord. Okay, so 5, 5, 5, 8 is my fancy chord at the end. And Karen says C7 is just a placeholder for your index finger. C7. Yeah, so on this, it turns out the chord is a C7, which is what you would play if you're singing it. But when you're playing the melody line, it turns out this is the melody note, so we never actually get to play the C7 in this song. I was like, are there C7s in this song? There are, right? But we're never going to get to play that one unless you're singing. Okay, and if you think about it, love me tender, love me true, never let me go. So that's when that C7 shows up, is when you're strumming and singing it. That's why it is a C7. It is the correct one. You just don't end up playing it because the melody note ends up being on F, and as you're coming down, you hit the melody note before you hit this note, and that's why it feels like a placeholder. It feels like, why am I even worrying about the C7? If you're playing Tough Uke, you're probably not thinking about C7, but if you're singing, for sure you're playing a C7. It's one of those fun things about Tough Uke that that the melody affects the chord, not the other way around. And so when the melody's in charge, so wherever the melody ends up, you use as much of the chord as you can. And sometimes it means you barely play any of the chord, right? Or oftentimes the chord you're playing looks nothing at all like what's on the paper, and in the little grid sheet. Okay, especially as you go further up the fretboard, things get real wonky real quick. So yeah, it's a placeholder, I guess, is a funny way to think of it. What's wrong? What wrong frets? That's in that. Good. Oh yeah. I started on 4 and squeezed it up to 5. So That's another thing you'll get used to the more you play is when you're messing up, you learn to sort of squeeze around and you'll notice with professional players, you often don't hear them making mistakes because they're turning mistakes into something beautiful. They're making mistakes too. Don't let them kid you. Let's see, Diane finally in and yep, Diane's here. Okay, we can get started now. Was it 4447 and yeah, that's what I ended up doing. I ended up grabbing 4/4. I ended up grabbing the E chord, right? And then that's how you fake playing it correct. That sounds cool. Okay, Cat. I think it was sweet. Sounded cool. Lovely. You mistake a. Yeah, just add a Hawaiian flair, right? I always tell people they didn't make mistakes. They're playing the jazz version. Okay, love me tender. Nice job, you guys. Excellent work. Good questions. What's next? I gotta look at this sheet here. 3 Blind Mice. All right. Yeah, I wish Bob had logged in. Bob was always picking on me for using going back over and over and over and over these songs that just don't seem like we should have to play them, right? We're adults. We shouldn't have to play 3 Blind Mice. If you are new, you're playing 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice, and you are memorizing that that's a C chord, right? That's something. All of you guys will remember learning your C chord and hoping that everything in ukulele was going to be a C chord, okay? And then if you are a next level player and you're starting to get into what we're teaching around here, turning this into an instrument that you actually use and it's not just backup for your voice, you're playing. Okay? If you're a next level player, then you're looking at Tough Uke and you're thinking. Okay? And then if you're the next level player, you're saying, I'm going to just use these fingers over here. Okay, that's quite a bit harder. It turns out that's actually I'm having to think, okay? Because you want to get your fingers right. And then there's a next level player where we're going to be adding in arpeggios in between all of that. So there's no end to how fancy you can make simpler songs. And so if you are thinking, I should always be playing a song that's super hard and making my life miserable, you're not thinking correctly about music. Take something that you know you can play. You absolutely positively can knock out 3 Blind Mice, and then take all of the skill sets you've been learning and seeing how fancy you can make it. And so when I grab a song like 3 Blind Mice, I know depending if we were all face to face, I would know what level you are and we would play it in those appropriate levels. But since some of you are fine players, right? You've been at this a while, you're getting in, you're thinking about what tools can you bring to a simple song like this to turn it into something fancy. Okay. So don't be shy about, yeah, I'm all that, right? Turn it in, use your right hand to a great advantage and see how many extra notes you can put into this, or what other things you could do. Maybe start messing with the melody a little bit. See what else you can turn it into. All right, 3 Blind Mice from the top. I'm going to play it with just my thumb. Okay, and you play it however you want. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, hopefully that's going well. Hopefully you're playing with me, just no problem at all. I tend to play louder during that middle section where all that chaos is going on, right? Putting it a little bit harder. Make sure whatever the last string you're hitting is louder than the rest of the strings. This song has a tendency to start sounding like you're just playing on just all this noise. So you got to be conscious of whatever the last note you hit, that it's coming out a little bit brighter than the other strings. mindful that you got to get the melody up and above the rest of that cacophony that you're making. Okay, Three Blind Mice. For those of you who are all that, let's try this. Let's just do this one. Okay, ready? From the top, add in as many notes as you think you can get in there. Okay. Otherwise, if you just want to play the melody, it's fine too. Okay. If you just want to play the chord, it's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. I did a very iffy job on that, but that's the idea, right? Is to take something simple, grab your arpeggio picking tool, and see how many extra notes you can add in between quarter notes. So that when you get to the eighth notes, I was trying to add in 16th notes, right? And not doing a good job of it. But that's the idea for those of you who are getting to fingerstyle, to getting to what we call fingerstyle these days, which is just adding in a whole bunch of decorative notes over the top of the main idea. And, for no other reason than it's fun and it sounds pretty. So there you go. All right. Look how this is, it's already almost, what time is it? 1:30, and this is where I'm at on my coffee. My priorities are not in the right place. Next up, next song. What are we playing? We're playing Blue Hawaii. All right, let's get on it. Those of you who have been around, you keep seeing Lanny log in over here on the chat room. Lanny is the one who came up with this song. He says, I want to play this Blue Hawaii. And he goes to Hawaii all the time. And here's the worst thing Lanny does. He sits on the veranda on the lanai in Hawaii and takes a photo and sends it to me. And he says, things are going great here. I'm like, yeah. So the island got him back a little bit when they had that volcano. He had issues, right? So, all right, Blue Hawaii. Let's talk about how the song works. Okay, this is a much higher level song. It's probably the hardest song of the week, I would think. And remember, those of you who are doing chords, your chord setup here is pretty nice, right? You've got some beautiful, beautiful chords in here. D minor is probably the hardest one you're going to be facing. So you're singing and using those chords to your advantage. I've sang through this a few times. I think the chord structure is dynamite. I think it really sounds nice under your voice. Not my voice, but if you had a good voice, it would sound good. Second thing I think is when you're playing the melody, if you're playing just that one note at a time, be patient, right? This is a dum da dum. Dum, 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 da, da, dum. So we have a tendency as tablature players to be like, all right, 3, 2, 3, 4, 0, 4, 3, 0. And we just are worried about whatever the next note is that we have to hit. And we don't take an adequate amount of time to let that note ring out, be beautiful. So instead of playing, you don't want to play that. That's not Blue Hawaii. Let those notes ring out, really let your ukulele really help you out. That's where you want to take, that's why having good strings on, if your strings are white, you got the wrong strings on. If you want to have good strings on, you want to have the highest quality ukulele that you could possibly talk yourself into buying. You want to have the patience. Who's the patient one? I can't remember. Patience of somebody. That you take, let those notes fully develop and become as beautiful as they can. That's what you're after when you're playing the melody. Tough uke is the same as always, right? It's a lot of work for for that. The one thing we did talk about in the beginning was that first measure. I've got it as what Lanny came up with, which is super smart, is so he's taking that chord shape all the way down, and then if you can, pull it up so you get a little bit of womp in it. Okay. Um, so that's what we're working on there, is just getting that lilt and that sort of Hawaiian, like the wave, not Hawaiian, just the waves are flowing around, and that's what we're kind of after there. Let's talk repeats very quickly. Notice at measure 17, you have your forward repeat. So when we come back, we're going to come back to measure 17. You're going to play all the way through 32, go back to 17, and then come back. Don't play 32 a second time. That's your first ending. Play 33 the last time you come through. Okay, so let's see. Joyce's love it. Great melody and colorful chord. Yeah, so Joyce is on board. Okay, Jane says, "Job, welcome, Jane. What's the uke today? This is a Kamaka uke. This is my professional level ukulele. I don't get it out a lot. He and I have a very mixed relationship. It's what you're supposed to have as a ukulele teacher and performer and professional, blah, blah, blah. You're supposed to have something like this. I 1,000 times would rather play a $50 ukulele than this guy. That isn't not to say that this isn't absolutely buttery, beautiful, just like shockingly wonderful. But you feel like you have to play good when you're playing a good instrument like this, and I don't care about playing well. I care about having great times and learning stuff and teaching everybody else. And so yeah, I get this. I don't know, I got it out today because of I wanted to play Can't Help Falling in Love with You with all the arpeggio patterns in there. I thought this one will sound really, really sweet with that. So I got it out because I wanted to sound nice today, but I don't know. It doesn't come out all that often because he and I have, he thinks I should play him well, and I think that I should just play him like everybody else. And so between the two of us, he's winning and I'm losing, and I don't like that. All right. It does have a beautiful, it's super, super nice ukulele. All right, let's play Blue Hawaii. All right, here we go. From the top, 1, 2, nice and easy. That's a long note here. Let it ring out and then go. It's 8 beats for that note. So just let it ring on, get yourself set up, and go. Whoops, sorry, gotta turn the page. Sorry, I blew it. Go from page 21. Ready, play. 8 beats long there. Back to 17. Oops. I blew it. Let me start from 17. Let's start from 17. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, go. A lot of work, right? All right. So first of all, I need to get my foot pedal going. That's clearly a page turn disaster. I was like, where is my thing? All right. So the lots of challenging things there. It's nice that it's fairly repetitive, but with that piece, I do think the slower you play it, the more likely it is you're going to have fun with it, and really try to get that. Flowing waves, patience of Job. Somebody wrote over there. Linda was right. Yeah, that's the guy I'm looking for. Apparently, Job was very patient, and so we want to be like him on this song. Okay. Also, just a beautiful. It feels like it should go onto a ukulele, right? So hopefully you're having fun with that. And if it's too hard, play the melody. Even that's just beautiful, right? And then toss in a chord here and there, and I think you'll end up with a really nice piece of music. Let me double check. Everyone says what I think I'm there. Did you say that if it was a? Oh, this one's a low G. Yeah, it's got two metal strings on here. The C and the G are both metal strings on this one. That's why you hear a lot more of that sound, because I got two strings where I'm dealing with that. So you'll hear a lot more of that on there. By the way, those of you guys who hate that sound, okay, that tells you if you are listening to a live, real human being and not an engineered product. So when they do albums, they take this off, that sound, they take it off. So there's a guy and he sits in the back room with that big board of stuff, and he doesn't shower and he's kind of grody. That's the guy who takes these off when you buy an album. When you go to a live concert, you hear this because that's part of being a human being. You're going to slide on these strings and you're going to hear that sound. So yeah, so that's what's going on there. It's a low G one today. Joyce, it is a lot. It is worth it. I think this song is, I am surprised it's not more popular. Honestly, it's a beautiful tune. Lynn, my A minor sounds funny. Does it matter if you have high G or low G? Does not matter on this song. I promise you guys, I arrange for high G because I believe in high G, because that's what a ukulele should be. High G. All of my songs, you can get away with playing them on low G, but I think high G. I love high G. High G is where it's happening in my head for a ukulele. When you put a low G on it, turns it into this sort of, I don't want to say it, little mini guitar a little bit. It takes this happy string and turns it into a serious string, and it's just different. It's different. It's not worse. It's not better. It's just different. And that's not how I think. I think ukulele, and I want a high G on here. So all of my things are going to sound, be planning on played with high G. And yeah, it's a little bit different than what you hear coming out of mine, and for good reason, right? Because you've got that there. So yeah, absolutely. Patience of, let's see, I am sorry. Patience of Job. Job. Oh, correct spelling of Job. Okay, cat. Job would have felt better throw. Yeah. Who is the one that ended up in the whale? Was that Job? I don't know. Somebody ended up inside of a whale. All right. If you're inside of a whale, you better be patient. You better not be patient. You got to get out. All right. What's the next song we're working on? What time is it? All right. We're doing fine. Oh, God. We got to do Waltzing Matilda. Guys, and so we're going to do this quickly. But let's go down to your key of C strummers is the name of the file. So if you've got these things alphabetized that way, it's the one, it's the paper that has Waltzing Matilda on it. Let me get my screen on here. you want the one that looks like this. Okay, so hopefully I don't know how you have it alphabetized in your book. I tell people a lot of times, hey, you ought to put your strumming stuff right into its own section, because eventually you're going to stop playing this stuff when you realize that you've been wasting your ukulele time on that. No, you may not. You always need a little bit of this stuff. All right. Jonah was the one in the whale. I wasn't paying enough attention in church. All right, let's go to Waltzing Matilda, guys. You're picking your method. This is a right hand activity. Okay, you're playing a C chord, you're playing an A minor chord, you're playing an F chord, and you're playing a real G chord. Guess where your problem's going to be? Getting this guy on in time, and then getting him off. Okay, so when you have this G chord coming, you're always looking ahead. Don't fall asleep on whatever chord you're on. Look ahead. If you see a G chord coming, abandon the previous chord in time to get G on in quickly enough. Okay, this is a song I teach every single time when I am teaching strumming and singing, because it gives you a chance to really work on those four chords. Those chords are going to come up every time ukulele players get together. Those four chords are going to be a part of the get together. And so you want to just have them lights out. And so we're going to play the song a little on the fast side so that you can see how you're doing and see where you're at with getting your chords on quickly. The other reason I play this song a lot is it gives me a chance to make a single joke. Okay, I always say, all right, let's talk about what's in here. What's a jolly swag man? Well, a swag man's a hobo. Okay, he camped beside a billabong. Well, that's where the river comes down and makes a turn. There's a pool of water that's formed there. This is a giant billabong, and you'll find out why it has to be giant pretty quick here. Under the shade of a coolabah tree, some kind of Australian tree, and he sang as he sat and waited for his billy to boil. That's the thing you buy at REI. It's $350, and you put your tea kettle on the top of it. Okay. Back in the day, we had the Coleman green suitcase that my dad made me carry up the hill, right? And that was our billabong. And then you sing Waltzing Matilda. And in each section, he's waltzing with somebody else. The first section, he's waltzing with himself. The second section, he's waltzing with this jumbug. The third section, he's waltzing with the police. And the fourth section, his ghost is doing the waltzing. Okay, so you can get to talk about that. Super fun. And then I make my one joke. We get to the second verse. I say, okay, now remember, this song is from Australia. And then down to the water came a jumbug. What is a jumbug? And you're almost inevitably, people will say, it's a kangaroo. That's the joke, right? That's it. It's not that funny, but I love it, because if you emphasize how important it is that this is from Australia, and then you ask what a jumbug is, somebody in the class will say, it's a kangaroo. Okay, so it's not a kangaroo. It's some type of, it has to be a very small animal that you can own in order for the song to make sense. And so I like to tell people, picture a little sheep or a little goat or something like that. You have to be able to own the animal. And so a jumbug is an ownable animal that's small enough to fit inside of a tucker bag, which we assume looks like a backpack, right? So that's what, so in measure 2, he's going to grab that jumbug and stuff it in his tucker bag. In verse 3, then of course the police and the owner of the land, he's not the owner, he's the land leaseholder on the land, comes down, and there's a big tussle, and dumbest line of music. Where's that jolly jumbug you've got inside your tucker bag? Dumbest line in all of music, right there. That's in this song. And then in the last verse, he jumps into the lake and kills himself. And the other conversation piece that I always have is, boy, that seems like a tiny bit of an overreaction to kill yourself over a jumbug. But a couple years ago, somebody in one of my classes said, well, you don't understand. He's got a very long rap sheet, as if it was just obvious that, that he couldn't be captured alive one more time. So that's the song we're going to play. Only one technique here. In addition to getting your chords on time, get this finger ready to go when you get to that last chord. Waltzing Matilda with me. Okay, we need that tremolo on there. Okay, so that's your palm here, open, index finger over. It's from the wrist. It's not from the elbow. Don't be doing that. You won't go fast enough. Okay, and then I like to do the Eddie Van Halen finish at the end. That's the Eddie Van Halen finish. If you're teaching little kids and you make them put their arm way up above their heads to do it, it's a blast. They don't know who Eddie Van Halen is, and they don't need to know. Okay, all right, you ready? I'm gonna sing. It's gonna be groovy. Let's see, sheep. Baby Roo. Let's see. Jumbug is a male sheep. Um, Eileen probably knows, right? Okay, awesome. Thanks, Eileen. And it's a male sheep. It's a little tiny male sheep, right? You're going to grab it. You have to own it, right? But if you play it right when you're teaching the song and you make sure everybody knows it's from Australia, then somebody will say kangaroo. It's guaranteed. Every now and then somebody says a koala, and I'm like, that's not the right animal. All right. A billabong is where the river comes down and it makes a turn, and the water tends to collect there, and when it turns, so the water comes. I'll do it on the board. The water's coming down and it turns, and where it comes down, the water tends to collect here. Now this has to be a giant billabong because it's got to be deep enough for him to jump in and kill himself. Okay, so it's huge. Okay, so it's a big river apparently. The link I shared says he never dances. He's in the hobo type guy, and the stuff swag packed and the stick bounces. Oh, okay. All right. So Karen is diving deep into what waltzing is. I just tell him it's dancing around the fire, but whatever works for you. All right, here we go. And then with the intro, it's actually kind of fun. If you're teaching this one, like if you get some people together, I know some of you run ukulele groups, say, okay, I'll set the tempo, I'll play the intro, and then play that as fast as you possibly can until you get to those C chords at the end. Okay, so I'll do that now and say, okay, I'm going to set the tempo, and then you guys jump in on verse 1. Okay, here we go. Here we go. And once a jolly swagman camped beside a billabong under the shade of a coolibah tree, and he sang as he sat, and he waited till his belly boiled. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me, waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, you'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. And he sang as he sat, and he waited till his belly boiled. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Down came a jumbuck to drink beside the billabong. Up jumped the swagman and grabbed him with glee, and he sang as he stowed that jumbuck in his tucker bag. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me, waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, you'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. And he sang as he stowed that jumbuck in his tucker bag. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Up came the squatter, mounted on his thoroughbred. Down came the troopers, 1, 2, 3, saying, where's that jolly jumbuck you've got inside your tucker bag? You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me, waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, you'll come a waltzing Matilda with me, saying, where's that jolly jumbuck you've got inside your tucker bag? You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Up jumped the swagman, he sprang into the billabong, and you'll never catch me alive. Splash, and his ghost may be heard as you pass along that billabong. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me, waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, you'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. And his ghost may be heard as you pass along that billabong. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Loud, waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, you'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. And his ghost may be heard as you pass along that billabong. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. So dumb. All right, so that's waltzing Matilda. How'd you do with getting your chords on quickly enough? Okay, that's the question, right? I played that pretty darn fast, probably a little bit faster than we would typically play it, just to give you a sense of a challenge, right? If you are wanting to slow it down and play with some arpeggio patterns, you can do that. You can do your plucking over here, do whatever manner is kind of keep your right hand interested and excited about playing that song. But I wanted you to just double check that your C, A minor, F, and G are in good shape. For some of you, probably no big deal. For some of you, like, what the heck? That was way too fast, right? And so hopefully that song is just helping you get your C, F, A minor, and G in good shape so that when you go to your neighborhood ukulele gathering, you're going to be like, yeah, those chords are dead square on. Let's see. I'm getting a ton of information over here on let's see. The title was The Australian Slang for Traveling on Foot, Waltzing with One Belonging. Okay. Swagman was a Young Buck Wrestler. Yeah. More waltzing Matilda facts than you need to know is what's going on over here in chat. All right. Stayed with you on the chords and I sang along with you. I think we both sounded great. Yeah, see, that's why we have these concerts. So we sound awesome together, right? I'm your backup band. You guys are the ones making all the music. So beautiful. Nice work, guys. All right, let's keep moving forward. What time is it? 1:47. We're going to do Can't Help Falling. Well, we got 3 songs in 15 minutes. We're going to be good. All right, let's go grab Can't Help Falling in Love. Dun, dun, dun. Can't Help Falling in Love. I always say can't help falling in love with you. Right? I don't know if that's true or not. Apparently can't help falling in love is what I wrote on the top. I didn't add with you because it runs into the date on the music. All right. Remember, we're going to play measures 1 through 8 twice, and then we're going to play the rest of the way to the end with no repeats. And be aware, when you get to measure 9, it's going to get real weird real fast, right? Because we're going to play that little section a tiny bit slower, and we're going to play that section. You almost have to memorize measures 9, 10, 11 in order to pull them off. Okay, so you're going to be playing A minor, open, 3, 7, and then this E7 is a bar on 4 with your middle finger on 5. Okay, you almost have to memorize that in order to pull it off successfully. Okay, so there's that. If you are a chord person so far, okay, that's fine. Just nice, easy. Going to take plenty of time. We're going to play it relatively slow. If your melody still, just play that way. Perfectly fine. Tough ukers, you got a couple of choices. One, just the usual thumb down. That's going to sound amazing, by the way. And then those of you guys that are taking Summer Institute and you're needing a challenge, okay, this is sort of top level. You're going to be playing it with this guy, you know, Claw. We've talked about him. Okay, but you're going to be you can do it 2 ways. One, just for exactly what's written. Okay, that's perfectly fine. And if you're all that, like that's no problem for you anymore, then be adding in your 8th notes, okay? And you're just holding the chord. It will work all the way through the whole song, I promise. Let me start with the correct chord. That's what I'm thinking about. You're just putting in these 2 fingers are adding in an arpeggio pattern, and you can do it through the whole entire song, and it will sound absolutely brilliant. Okay, so I'm going to put a video up this weekend of me doing that for Summer Institute. Global Institute. And so just know that if that's something you're working on, Kari sent me a beautiful recording of her working on it. She says, she's in her text, she says, this is take number 50 and I'm done, right? And just doing that exact thing, just adding in as many extra notes on the empty 8th notes in there, and you'll end up with something really beautiful. Okay, it does sound sweet. It's absolutely sounds sweet. Thanks, Brandon. All right, let's go through it. I'm just going to play it thumb down like I play All Tough You, because I think if you can get to there, you have arrived, right? After that, then you can fancy stuff up if you need to. But I think just plain old thumb down on a beautiful, slow song like this is going to sound amazing. All right, from the top, remember 1 through 8 twice, and then we play to the end. 1, 2, ready, play. To the top. Okay. Beautiful little tune. I blew the B flat every single time I went through it. Okay. It happened. What are you going to do? So hopefully that song is one of those inspiring songs where you can take that at every single level on the paper and turn it into your song where you own it. And obviously I have some work to do to where I can own that one. And B flat beat me, right? It beats, some of you have been beaten by B flat a little bit. All right. Next song, let me see what we got going on here. Brahms' Lullaby, another absolutely tremendous piece of music. And I would say that okay. Let's see. Sorry, I got a weird text in the middle of this. For the most part, I ignore my phone, except when one person calls, and then I have to take that one very seriously. And so, all right. So we're looking at Brahms' Lullaby. You're playing real classical music here, guys. It's the same chords as in Waltzing Matilda, except instead of a G, you're going to play G7. Okay. Let's give it a try from the top. 1, 2. How'd you do? How'd you do? That song should be coming together, hopefully, for you, whatever level you're playing at. Right? That's a nice tune. Really playing some little Brahms today. Little, Elvis, Brahms, basically the same thing. All right, where are we at? I think that we are ready. How are we doing on time? 4 minutes to finish up. Are you lonesome tonight? We've got look at me fitting in the whole thing in the actual amount of time we're supposed to. Okay. I don't know why I decided 1 hour was the amount of time we were going to spend together, but probably I understand from TED Talks that 18 minutes is the correct number of minutes that you are able to think. Are you lonesome tonight? Remember, we're going to play all the way through down to measure 34. And Joyce, we got Joyce. Play through 34, go back to number 1, play all the way down, skip 34, play 35. I blew this yesterday, right? We're going to skip 34, play 35. Then when you hit the end of 35, it's a mess there. You're going to hit 35, you're going to go back to 25. Okay, so you can play all the way down through 35, then you're going to jump to 25, and then you're going to come back down at measure 30. There's a typo, measure 30. It says to number 35 on your last pass. You want to go to number 36 on on the last time we come through there. So when you hit 35, we're going to go back to 25, go down through 30, and then jump to 36. Here's why that's not such a major tragedy. 36 and 31 look exactly the same, and so you're going to be fine. You're going to know, oh, I'm supposed to be playing the ending when you get there. So that's a typo there, and I apologize for that. All right, let's go. Okay, we got to wake Joyce up. Okay, we're waking her up with "Are You Lonesome Tonight?" By the way, if you read the words to this, you're gonna know that somebody has a bit of an ego. Okay, all right. Might be Elvis, might have been Turk and Hanman, probably definitely a boy that wrote this. All right, here we go. From the top. 1, 2. the 36. Yay! We did it. Nice, nice. By the way, I was thinking about it as we were rolling through those two really, really rough moments in measures 27 and 28. One of the things that you will rarely find something like that in a concert. Like if you go to a concert and you see a solo player, unless they are like you are at a high level type of concert where they're really, digging in, you're not going to find those kinds of chords in a pop concert because there's just too much chance for blowing it. So they will simplify that whole situation so that they don't have to deal with that crazy complicated thing. That's one of the things you get to do at home working on this as a soloist yourself is, hey, I'm going to play these super fancy, ridiculously difficult chords because nobody's paying to watch you, right? And when you're paying, you're like, oh, they better do it good. And so musicians have a tendency to simplify moments like that. We don't have to do that. That's what's nice about it. Okay. So beautiful. Hopefully that was fun today. Did we play everything? Did we get to the bottom? We got to the bottom of the list. That's it. You made it to Friday. I don't know what next week's theme is. I've been going through my hard drive. I've been going through books. I don't know what we're going to play next week. I'll find us something. And so obviously we got the weekend off. You're supposed to write a song tomorrow and record the song tomorrow, Sunday, and send me a copy of it so that I can be proud of you. If you don't do that, that's fine. But that's what you're supposed to do. Don't let the weekends get by with no ukulele. That's crazy. All right, guys, have a wonderful weekend. Stay inside, guys. It's not done. It's not done out there. It's not done out there. So please be careful. Stay inside. Wear a mask. Do all that stuff, and keep playing ukulele. It's good. Hopefully, I'll see you Monday. Probably get some stuff posted on Sunday. Plan Monday during the day. This time slot for the whatever theme for next week will be, and then Monday nights for. Global Institute, right? Okay. All right. Let's say goodbye to some people. It was the Brahms that did it. Have a wonderful weekend. Nice job, Joyce. Glad we woke you up. So much fun, right, Kat? We're awesome. Have a great night. Have a great night and a great weekend. See you, Renee. Have a good one, Marie. Best Friday concert ever, right? Okay, because we can kind of play some of this music. That's awesome. Jay, and you're all getting so amazing. I can hear you from here. I can hear you all the way in Ontario. You sound amazing. Good job, Jerry. Good to see you. Have a great weekend, Chris. Yeah, good. I'm glad you were here today too, Chris. Okay, Randy, great week. It's your fault. Have a good weekend, man. Lindy, what do I pay people to listen to me? Yeah, I know, right? People will pay you to listen to them eventually. Melissa, have a great weekend. John, I didn't know you were here. Good to see you, buddy. Have a great weekend. Pele, mahalo. Oh gosh, I love it when you say that. See you next time, Pele. Patty and you guys be good, right? Go out and rock and roll. Jane, good to see you. Have a wonderful weekend. Mike, be good. Try to be good, Mike. That's not your specialty. Phyllis, love to have you here. So excited that you've been joining us so much. Leslie, be good out there in Virginia, right? Maybe we should do some. That's my old Kentucky home. That's a different state. Let's not do that. Pauline, be good. See you. Have a great weekend. Brandon, good to see you, buddy. Have a good weekend, Fran. Elvis is all right. All right. We are pro Elvis. For now, the fish are waiting for me. Fish. Ugh. Yeah, fish. Good job, Sandy. Have a great weekend. Elizabeth, see you in a little while. Beautiful tunes this weekend. Carol, you've been really digging in. Good for you. I'm glad you've found your way back. Good job. Laurel, be good. See you. Happy hour. Happy hours now. That's funny. Jana, I'll see you soon. I know they're turning into memories around here too fast. Now we got what's next? We got to move on to the next thing. All right. Diane, be good. Next week, I'm not sure what I'm doing, Diane. I have lots and lots of ideas, and they're all right. So it depends on how much time I have this weekend is what we're doing. If I have sometimes I pull stuff from the hard drive, and sometimes I write new, and we'll see how the weekend goes. So, Diane, I will find us something delicious to play. I promise. So, all right. Have a good weekend, you guys. I'm going to hit the end of the stream, and I will see you I'll see you Monday or chat with you. I'll see you Monday.